What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and it's been pretty obvious for a long time that George Lucas despises the way that Disney Star Wars has been treated, the path that they have decided to take. Instead of taking his ideas, his outlines, his plots for the sequel trilogy like they said they would, they decided to throw that in the trash like they did so many other things when they bought Star Wars. They wanted to forge their own road, create new Star Wars fans by alienating the old ones, and that's exactly what we saw happen, minus the new fans. They haven't gathered that big fan base they thought they would. They have damaged the brand of Star Wars. But now, once again, we have George Lucas on the record saying that he lost control of Star Wars and he really doesn't consider that his anymore. Take a look at this interview. Now, this is from the East Harlem School at Exodus House. This is back from October 16th, 2020. This is a long time ago, but the reason it's popping back up, and I have to give a shout out to two people that I saw this video from. One was Star Wars Theory. He was doing a stream yesterday, I think when maybe I was live at the time, or we were about to do the Geeks and Gamers Twitch. I saw him live reacting to this video, and also a Black Jedi also did a video on this subject. But now we're going to talk about it, because somebody asked George Lucas about Star Wars, and before really going off and talking about his Star Wars, about how he feels about his Star Wars, he briefly mentioned something called Disney Star Wars and what they did, and the wording that he uses I feel like is incredibly important. So why don't we just take a listen to what the man, the myth, the legend, George Lucas himself has said about Star Wars.
Be his partner. I've got. You guys are. It's just amazing. But I got Jeremiah Camacho, one of our eighth graders, who has a question about Star Wars. So we'll go from the sublime to the sublime.
Cool background, Jeremiah.
Oh, thank you. My name is Jeremiah. I'm in the 7th grade, and I really like Star Wars. So my question for you is, the world has changed so much since the first Star Wars movie. How do you think the changes in the fights for racial justice will impact the Star Wars universe going forward?
Right, and that is one of the topics of discussion in this video is about all the things that are going on. That was basically the point, and why Melly Hobson is there to speak about racial injustices and things like that. But I think that George's response, especially in the beginning, is very telling about his feelings about Disney Star Wars.
I don't know. I mean, I've kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first...
There it is. Not I sold Star Wars, not anything like that. Not I sold it, you know, they can do what they want. No, I lost control of Star Wars. I lost control of Star Wars, and it's going off in a path that I did not intend. So that's pretty definitive right there. For all of the people that want to say, well, George Lucas would have done the same thing. This is basically just George Lucas's plan. The people like Pablo Hidalgo, who even put that in one of the books. The people who are so desperate for normal people to believe that George Lucas approves of this, when he clearly does not. We even heard Bob Iger talk about how upset George Lucas was when he realized that they weren't going to follow his plots, that they weren't going to listen to him in any way, shape, or form. They were just going to do their own thing. He was kind of devastated by it. Let's listen to what George said again there. Here we go.
I don't know. I mean, I've kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first 6 are very much mine and my philosophy. And I think that philosophy...
Bro, like, the first 6 are very much mine. This is what we've all been saying. Remember when you would meme on Disney Star Wars when they're like, the conclusion of the Skywalker saga, and people are like, what, you mean this? Return of the Jedi? Like, because it's not. This is not the Skywalker saga. 7, 8, and 9 are not Star Wars. It's Disney Star Wars, which is a very different thing. George Lucas has just laid that out for you. He agrees with you. He agrees with you that this is not part of his story. That is what this man is saying right now. So for all the people who think differently, for all the people who try to convince you otherwise, you are fucking wrong. Take the L. Bottom line, the creator himself just said it. That is not part of his vision for Star Wars. 7, 8, and 9 are not Star Wars. It's Disney Star Wars. And that's a big fucking difference. And this is not really the first time we've heard him talk about things like this. Remember, with Variety, George Lucas said he sold Star Wars to white slavers in that 60 Minutes interview when he said, I sold Star Wars to the white slavers, and started laughing about it. And of course, a lot of people got very upset that he said that. But even it was in there in Force Awakens. Even before Force Awakens, you know, I was sitting there watching these things and I realized this is not George's story. This is not what he intended, because I had heard things like this, where he talks about The Force Awakens. This is April 21st, 2015. The writing is on the wall. This is not new information. This is 6 years old at this point, but there are still people that want to try to argue about it. There's no debate. Listen to him then.
As they clearly are headed to a new franchise.
Well, you know, I hope it's successful. I hope they do a great job. They've, you know, the original saga was about the father, the children, and the grandchildren. And, I mean, that's not a secret to anybody. It's even in the novels and everything.
Oh, wait, he said it's even in the novels? Oh, I heard these didn't exist. I heard George Lucas didn't care about the expanded universe. I heard a lot of things about that, but you have George Lucas telling you about how the original story for the saga is about the father, the children, and the grandchildren. It's even in the novels. Shocker, isn't it? Read the Star Wars expanded universe if you want real Star Wars, if you want good Star Wars.
Everything, but and the children were in their 20s and everything, so it wasn't Phantom Menace again. But so I'm hoping, and they've taken it in a different direction, and I'm hoping I'm excited to see. Since I didn't use my stories, I have no idea what they're doing.
Have you looked at any of them?
There you go. It was written on the wall. We all knew it if you were paying attention, that this is not George's vision. This is not George's legacy. This is not what he wanted to happen. But he did sign on the dotted line. He sold it to Disney, and now they're doing whatever they want to do. But let's listen to George for a little bit, a couple minutes. He is going to continue to talk about Star Wars, especially about, you know, his movies, which I think is pretty cool.
Sort of goes beyond any particular time, because it's based on history, it's based on philosophy, it's based on a lot of things. And you know, the first three basically tell you.
It's one of the things I like. He's talking when he was asked about how it would be impacted by the current racial riots and all that stuff. And he basically says, listen, Star Wars in my mind is kind of timeless because it involves myths, it involves mythology, it involves these gods, it involves legends, all these things wrapped up into a story, and it's timeless.
How a democracy turns into a dictatorship, and you end up with a tyrant, the emperor. It's a very important now, where we are now in our political history. The other part was that in there, it's like, I purposely, all of the various colors and
He lags out a bit on Zoom.
The aliens and everything that live in that world. It's a normal situation. There's no real discrimination. The only discrimination is against robots. And we haven't really reached that period yet. And I'm sure the robots will be able to overcome it because they don't have the same feelings. But it really shows you.
So there you have it. He talks a little bit about his Star Wars universe, about how there was no discrimination in Star Wars. And that's something we've said for a long time, is there's tons of different aliens, there's tons of different types of skin color of people in Star Wars, and it's not a big deal. They don't bring that kind of thing into Star Wars because, like George says, it's supposed to be timeless, right? You can tell these stories, these political allegories in a way without making it about current day in our society. And that is what he has done. That is what he has given us. And that is one of the reasons why his Star Wars movies will continue to be loved, continue to be cherished, and continue to be timeless, just how he wants them to be. But I think the biggest takeaway for me was definitely those first couple words about Star Wars, and specifically about Disney Star Wars. I think we need to listen to those again one more time. Let's listen to George about how he's lost control of Star Wars.
I don't know. I mean, I've kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first six
And look at that smile from his wife. Look at that smile. She knows that he probably wants to say more. He just can't. He's probably not allowed to contractually. That's about all you're ever going to get. But George Lucas, back in October, in front of a school, he was doing this little Q&A thing, and no one really saw it. It didn't really get very big until Star Wars Theory did a stream, a Black Jedi did a video, and now I'm sure you're going to see a lot of videos just like mine talking about George Lucas destroying Disney Star Wars and calling them out for exactly what we all know, not using his vision, that this is not Star Wars anymore. He said, my 6 are my story. The original 6 are my story. Like we all know, the conclusion of the Skywalker Saga, selling these 9 Blu-ray sets and saying, look, it's the whole thing. It's the whole Skywalker Saga. Bullshit. No, it's not. We've heard it from the man himself. That's not Star Wars. That is Disney Star Wars. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.